And the next category is the IOCCC prize in quasi bijection.
So
what's being bijected into what? Yeah,
I don't know. It sounds like a MacGuffin from an episode of Star Trek, if I'm being serious. So I have no idea.
Well, I guess you understand what is a bijection, right? And Leo, you had a really good explanation for that.
Well, a bijective function is a function that for every input produces a unique output. So, and then when this output is given back to the function, it produces its input again. Like, for example, y equals minus x will be a bijection.
So this is a quasi bijection. So that's what it came up with this prize name. But who actually won the prize of quasi bijection?
Well, let's find out.
And the IOCCC prize in quasi bijection goes to tompng from Japan.
And congratulations, tompng, for your first winning IOCCC entry. That's what the author claims their name is. In fact, they have a nice GitHub repo you can look at as well. But let's see how you. Go ahead.
Is it PNG or is it ping? Like,
I call it PNG. Now, tompng might have a different thing.
Fair enough.
This is fortunately it's not Tom GIF. We don't have to worry about that thing.
Right.
PNG is a pretty straightforward pronunciation. But let's look at how you compile it. Now, you will see, by the way, in this case, these lines here, this LD warning thing. This is a macOS feature where the linker puts out this warning, essentially saying that the data section, the data block had to be repositioned because of alignment exceeds its maximum. Do you see the maximum alignment stuff? I'm sure there's a way that you could tell the linker to stop saying this. It's kind of annoying. I don't think it's a warning. I think it's actually a notice, but whatever. It is what it is. So there's no impugning thing for the LD stuff if your linker happens to be whine about that. But otherwise, it's a pretty straightforward compile. And this is what the code looks like. So you've got this clue about this thing called vortex. And you look at this thing, you've got this nice set of sort of vortex things in there for this quasi bijection process. Now, if you Clang format it, you'll see there's a whole bunch of comments here. We have a void function here. The main is down here. With some other functions. There's lots of these little comments in here, and you say, because the comments in the Vim editor are printed sort of this teal thing, and you can see the comments have kind of C-like things in them, but they're not actually valid C, and intermixed amongst this set. And so, and of course, there's a large data block here, which is why actually there's two large data blocks here and here. That's one of the reasons why it had basically almost 10,000 squared of objects, which is why the linker had to realign things or move the data section to a better alignment. So you say, well, okay, it's kind of odd. Got these odd comments there. You might say, well, that's just to make the code look pretty, but you'd be wrong. So when we run the program on this IOCCC text and you give it to input, it does the following. vortex it around and prints out, and that's the result. And if you take that output and feed it back into the program, you get the source back. And if you take the program and feed it into itself, so here it's going to read its own source, what it will do is scramble the top. And now that top is valid C. So the output program is actually valid C that you can compile, and you run the compiled version of its vortex output on data source. It does this. And notice it's a smaller spark. It's not a twirly thing, it's a sparkly thing to give you your original source. So again, what you're seeing here is that the normal code does this vortex thing to give you and by the way, you can add an argument, so you can have a password so that it will scramble it in a slightly different way.
So this is essentially so it's essentially like encrypting any data you give it, but if you give it to itself, it makes a new program that does the same thing as the old program, but differently.
Yes. In fact, yeah. It doesn't do it in a vortex way. It does it in a sparkly way.
That's very, very strange. Very strange.
So if you were to modify those comments, the resulting vortex of the source code would produce something which is not valid C, or it's not run correctly. So those comments, besides making it pretty, are also necessary so that when it vortexes itself, it produces a program which doesn't vortex. It does it in a sparkly way, but nevertheless, it is. And so this is what we call very fragile code. Change it in a slightly different way, and you will have to fix the bijection, which will be very difficult. So well done, tompng. Thanks for watching. And before you go, please like and subscribe, and check out the social media links in the description below. And if you like, you can support us on Patreon to help us bring you new content so you may enjoy our favorite universe even more.